I would love to welcome now to the stage Alexander Müller. Alexander is Managing Director of TMG, think tank for sustainability based in Berlin, Germany. He's also been a longtime advocate of TCA as a study leader for the seminal TCA framework, TEEBAgriFood, published by the UN Environment Program in 2018. Welcome.
Thanks a lot. Welcome to all of you. Happy to see so many friends. I don't say old friends, I say friends, colleagues, and people who have accompanied the TEEB work, the TCA work over many years. Really happy to be here. And let me also start with congratulating the TCA accelerator. You have managed to organize rain in Rome. This keeps the people here in the room. They are not moving out to see the old beautiful buildings. They are not spending a lot of time on the beautiful FAO terrace. Now you only have to ensure that tonight the rain is stopping for your reception, but I think you're going to manage it. Dear colleagues and friends, I'm happy to be here in the green room. It is called green room, not because green policies are decided here, but this is one of the rooms where all the difficult negotiations on governance, on soft laws, on important things for the food system are going on. And what I would like to tell you is I would like to see in very few years, Andrea and Arslan, that's a job for you, to have a meeting of the governing bodies here to decide on a standard of true cost accounting for the food system. I'm convinced that all these projects, and they are successful projects, and all our joint efforts, they have to lead the way towards a decision that we come to a soft law on food system transformation based on true cost accounting. If we look at the current environment, and I'm not talking about geopolitics, I'm only talking about the economic system, we still know that the current economic accounting system is not our friend. You might know it. What is the most powerful figure in the world? What is it? Come on, you get a coffee for free outside if you know it. It's the most powerful figure in the world, GDP. So even if people don't know what it means, if they hear in the news in the evening, GDP of Italy has grown by 1.5%, they say, oh, congratulations, this is a big achievement. Nobody really knows what it is, but this is the dominant narrative of measuring growth. People consider, and it is wrong, people consider that this is also measuring human well-being, and we have to change it. As long as GDP and standard accounting is the relevant figure for measuring progress, we are a minority. And what I would like to see is that based on the work we all are doing, we will become a majority. And GDP is not a natural law. It took 200 years to develop it. And after World War II, it has completely been changed. And facing the poly crisis, I think we have to change GDP again. We have to move beyond, like Adele said, beyond productive or financial capital only. We have to include natural capital, social capital, and human capital. And especially for food systems transformation, I'm convinced this is a precondition. There's a lot of talk about food system transformation and beautiful meetings here of the World Food Summit to talk about food systems transformation. Is it going to happen under the current circumstances? I have my doubt. I have serious doubts. The SOFA reports unveiled the hidden cost, but it has to be taken up. And let me give you an example why it is so important. I was involved many years ago in changing the energy system in Germany from fossil fuel-based power generation to renewables. At this time, we were confronted with the fact that solar electricity was incredibly expensive, $1 per kilowatt hour. Fossil fuel-based electricity was cheap. So it was very, very difficult, and it took a lot of political efforts to overcome this barrier. Why? Because the emissions of CO2 were not counted. Was for free. And now we know that hundreds of billions of costs will come to the future generations in order to somehow deal with the impacts of climate change. And the same is happening with the food system. I can only thank FAO and the people who have pushed it forward for having published this report, and all of you for bringing together all the evidence that our food system is not broken. The measurements are wrong. We are measuring the wrong things. And therefore, always think about when people are talking about GDP has grown, this is not telling the truth. Nowadays, we would call it fake news. This is not reality. And what we want to do here is to try to find a way to capture the true costs of food and then go beyond. We don't want to end with food systems only, because these are true costs. They are not captured by the current system. And FAO is an organization that can trigger a lot, but things can always disappear again. I remember 10, 12 years ago, 2013, we had in this room a meeting looking at food waste. And the calculation of food waste was based on the SAFA and on TCA. So we already had a first attempt to move forward, and then it was not forgotten, but the dominant economics, they have put it into the background. And what I would like to see from here is that we have a strong call. We can do it. TCA is possible. We have to move beyond projects, because what I've learned in FAO is projects never fail. They are always successful, and everybody is praising his or her projects. But at the same time, projects never scale. So you have to move beyond implementation of projects towards a more serious system of true cost accounting. And this has to be done, including FAO. Moving from SOFA to governance, moving from technical expertise on land to the voluntary guidelines on good governance on land, moving from the fight against hunger to the voluntary guidelines on the right to food. The VGTTs and their guidelines on the right to food have been negotiated here. I would like to see us to move beyond what we are doing. That's great, and we will continue towards a governance system where we could, together with UNEP and other UN organizations, develop a strategy that we say, let's look at the true cost of food. Otherwise, we are bringing to the future generations and to the poorest people here huge costs they can never pay for. And now I have to say one sentence about geopolitics. The people who will suffer the first and the most are the poorest people. It is because of unfair food systems, it's because of geopolitics. And I see that true cost accounting can unlock opportunities. But we have to be brave, we have to be strong, and we have not to be happy with our small-scale projects. We have to go beyond. And I think FAO is a good place to start it. And therefore, I would like to thank the organizers, not only for the rain that keeps people here in the room, but for bringing us together to have serious discussions, to have an exchange, so that we from TMG can present our work on Plan EAT, our True Cost Accounting Handbook. Adele can present the work she's doing with Patrick Holden together, and others can do it. But in the end, we have to come to a higher level. We want to avoid greenwashing, and true cost accounting, if it's done in a real way and in a serious way, can be a contribution to it. So I'm really looking forward to this meeting. Thanks a lot.